Buckley's Entertainment Centre is Geelong's exciting place to go. The bistro is a great place to have a meal with friends. Look for new specials on the menu and relax in the friendly atmosphere. You can choose from 2 large alfresco areas. Friday and Saturday nights, there's live music in the lounge. The function room seats up to 300 with a package to suit your needs. There's always something happening at Buckley's.
For great food, great service, great value. Where else? Buckley's in Geelong.
And welcome back. And of course, a great round of footy on last weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first of all, as I was about to say in the first segment, but I got a bit rattled, folks, I have assembled some of the biggest names and brains in country footy to eradicate, adjudicate, communicate, but not procrastinate. Once again, the absolutely flying insect right beside me here, Grubby Cushings. G'day, mate.
Yeah, g'day, mate. And it's an absolute privilege to be part of the Dick Philpott show once again.
You are a fool. And a bit of bad luck about the where we went was last week, mate.
I don't think there was much luck. Apparently North Geelong were just far too good, and that's all there is to it.
Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. And of course, the #1 commentator in country football doesn't need much introduction. Eric Nichols, good morning.
Good morning, Dick. I seem to have been waiting here forever this morning.
I know, mate.
But I finally had my breakfast and I'm right.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Now, I got a little bit rattled this morning, but everything's going all right now. It was fantastic. You guys went out to the Devils playground last week. It was the 94.7 match of the day. And the Cry Devils, of course, playing against the Tommy Tigers. A big crowd, and Anthony Koutafidis absolutely put, as we say in the classics, put bums on seats.
Well, you're dead right, Dick, he did. And before we actually talk about on the ground, he was a fantastic bloke off the ground as well. He spoke to Eric and myself. He spoke to everybody that wanted to talk to him.
Well, that's good, because I don't talk to you.
Well, that's probably right, but he did, and he was just fantastic. He was a great ambassador. He played good football as well. And I think Greg Ince should hold his head up high, and his committee, for doing a magnificent job out there. I hope they made a quid. There was plenty of people out there, as you said. A great game of footy, and Cooter, you're a winner for me, mate. No worries.
Oh, you're a Carlton supporter, you know
Nothing
that.
to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
I've got to agree, Dick. It was a Corio Football Club. It was just a sensational presentation for them, and they really can hold their head high. And Cooter certainly didn't let them down. And the interesting aspect, he kicked 5. Barry O'Toole couldn't play for them. Now, I reckon this week Barry could come in and kick those 5 goals. So the club probably haven't lost anything.
Who did they play on him, Grubby? Did they try a couple of guys on? And obviously a thrill for them to play against the legend of the AFL.
Well, yeah, look, they tried a few different blokes on him. He sort of went off the ground a couple of times. He came back on. I reckon if he held everything that come in his way, he's a little bit out of touch. He probably would have kicked 8 or 9, Eric, I reckon.
Great,
but, yeah, look, I can't remember who they have.
Chris Yeo.
Yeah,
Chris Yeo
did,
for most of the day.
He did, and he did a pretty good job too. The one-on-ones, he was a little bit too strong, but Corio went for him every time they went in. Bit of a shame Barry was injured, because he would have given probably another avenue to goal. But I just think Koutafidis probably covered Barry nicely.
Yes, yeah. And the greatest aspect of the game, Dick, for 3/4 time, Corio were going to win the game. And they just ran out of puff grubby, didn't they? I've never seen a team stop so quickly.
They did. I spoke to Johnny Mitchell at half-time and at 3/4 time. Life member of the GDFL, by the
Absolutely.
way. You forgot to mention that last week.
I know, yeah.
But I spoke to him at half-time and 3/4 time, and he was worried. He was very, very worried. He said to me, I don't know what I'm going to do here. He said, we might get beat here. But Corio just run out of legs, and the Thompson class shone through.
We're talking about Anthony Koutafidis, and that's a great thing for local footy. But let's not take something away from Lucas Forbes. He's kicked 5 goals down the other end. He's had a pretty big impact on the game as well.
He's a class player, Dick.
He is.
And, reigning Whitley medalist, and he played like that. He led Thompson to front. He didn't get all those goals just being at full forward. He moved around the forward line. He was a very, very competitive. In fact, 3/4, he was one of the blokes that kept them going, and then he finished it off in the last quarter.
Big crowd, as we said, Grubby. Now, was the fact you told me before the show that it was probably one of the biggest crowds you've seen in local footy?
I reckon it's the biggest crowd, home and away, I've seen ever in the GDFL competition.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Just a fantastic crowd, and a fantastic day had by all too. As I said before, Greg Ince and all his committee have done a great job, and hopefully they've netted a quid.
The great part about it, though, Dick, before and after the game, and Grubby alluded to it earlier, Cooter was happy to pose for photos with Mum, Dad, the kids, and it was just a fantastic performance by him.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of the man himself, Eric caught up with Anthony Koutafidis after the game. Here they go now.
Corio, we've just finished the marquee game between the Corio Football Club and the Thompson Football Club, epitomised by the appearance of Anthony Koutafidis, ex-Carlton. And first to you, Anthony, welcome to Corio and congratulations on a fine effort.
Thanks very much. I really enjoyed the day, and I was thrilled. Mark and Chris got me over the line to come and play here, and I'm heard a lot of rumours about Corio. Whatever they said was truly wrong, because I loved it here, and I think it's probably one of the best experiences I've had playing local footy. So I appreciate it. Thanks to Mark and, of course, Chris too for getting me down here.
We'll get a word from Mark in a moment, but probably the classic question. You and I have both played league football. You see a lot of league at different. How is the Geelong District Football League standard? I
think it's terrific. I really do. I played in a couple of games last year where the standard was way below what it was here. So I think the guys are terrific. And today, I mean, the way they run, the way they mark, their skills, fantastic. It actually was a lot better than what I thought it would have been.
And you kicked the lazy 5, but to kick those 5, the team had to get the ball to you. The way they moved it to you, they gave you opportunity, one out several times. Good teamwork.
Look, I think, number one, it was obviously the coach that opened up the forward line for me. There's been other coaches that don't, organise game plans in that sort of way, so that did make it easier. I'm not just saying it because he's here, but the guys, really looked for me today, and there was a couple of times I should have got the positions I didn't, but it's hard to sort of work it out local footy. Do you lead or do you stay there? And just a few kicks that just didn't go quite my way.
Fantastic to have you down, and it's fellas like yourself who've been at the top level that come back and help country football. I think the people here absolutely idolised you and enjoyed your performance.
Thanks very much, and that's what it's all about, local footy. People don't understand the amount of work that goes into it through coaches and presidents in the club, and if we can give back in any way, that's what we need to do. And I think a lot of AFL players are doing that now, and it's all about getting a few extra supporters, and you never know, you might get lifelong supporters out of that. So that's what it's all about.
I think the Corio Football Club and the public here today certainly enjoyed it. Now to the coach, Mark McDowell. Mark, for 3 quarters, absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, we certainly had the opportunity there through the third quarter where we opened up a bit of a gap, and it looked like we had all the momentum, and we just needed to put the foot down, and we could have probably won the game. But Thompson got back late in that quarter and kicked 2 or 3 late goals where we sort of dropped off and lost concentration, and there was only 3 points in it at 3-quarter time, and look, it really looked like we tired to me. I just think we need to probably work on our fitness. It looked like we got tired, but we got absolutely smashed in the midfield in the last quarter, where I think it was about 15-minute mark before we actually got a forward entry. So, and that was a bit disappointing because Kuda was really a target up there for us, and we just needed to get it to him and get it into his hands, and it might have made the difference in the game. Yeah.
Getting Kuda to the club, a fantastic coup and a fantastic thing, not only for Corio, but for the Geelong District Football League.
Yeah, I've said that right from the start, that, who are we here for? We're here for the spectators, so, all the guys that come along and had a look at the game, that's what it's about. They come along and see him playing, and, we've got a lot more people here than what we would usually have, and that's what I think we're all here for anyways, for the spectators. And just a fantastic promotion for the Geelong District Football League, just an awesome promotion, I reckon.
And your own team, you've come a long way since last year. I think you've gone forward.
Yeah, we've definitely gone forward, and our expectations are a lot higher this year. We've recruited some players, so we're expected to perform much better than what we did last year. And look, but it's going to take a bit of time. We did it for 3 quarters today. We didn't quite get across the line, but the boys have got to learn from that. Work on just keeping our systems in place for a bit longer, and what do we do if we're not getting it out of the centre bounce? They needed to lock down there, and they didn't. They kept trying to go on the positive and try and get an easy clearance rather than, I reckon, because we had some really strong players in at the centre bounce, but they needed to lock down and just go man on man in that last quarter and just win one-on-one footy and get the entries into the forward line. But we'll learn from that, and I'm sure we'll be much more competitive than what we were last year.
Mark McDowell, coach of Corio, thank you very much. Great effort, and good luck in the rest of the season. And finally, Anthony Kounoufidis, thank you again on behalf of everybody here. 1 for appearing and 2 for putting on a really good show.
Thanks very much.
Robbie wanted to do the interview, but he couldn't get the microphone up high enough, so bad luck. Eric took over anyway.
I was going to do it in Greek.
We're going to... We're talking Swahili most of the time. We're going to take a short break. We come back and talk about all the action on this afternoon, including the blockbuster out at the Keith Parkway over back over.